Do you want to hear about crazy faith? Delulu faith? I'm in Hebrews 11. And Hebrews 11 talks about men and women of faith. Not even about them having that faith, but their faith has pushed them to do extraordinary things. I want to point out to you verse 5. Enoch, very insignificant amongst everybody else in here. It says, it was by faith that Enoch was taken up to heaven without dying. He disappeared because God took him, for before he was taken up, he was known as a person who pleased God. Now, in the Bible, we know only about 3 people who were taken up to heaven. Jesus, and there were witnesses seeing that, and it was Elijah. And Elisha has seen Elijah being taken up to heaven. But with Enoch, it's a very different story. What we hear is that it was by faith that Enoch was taken up to heaven without dying, which makes me believe and think that this man believed deeply that he would be taken up to heaven, that he was walking around telling other people, I will be taken up to heaven before I die. And then when he disappeared and they couldn't find him, they thought, okay, what he was telling us that it's going to happen, happened, because we cannot find him. Maybe there was no witnesses. We don't hear about any witnesses seeing him being taken up to heaven. But what we do hear is that this man had faith. It was by faith that Enoch was taken up to heaven. That means that he believed that he will be taken up to heaven. What is it today that you have such a deep notion, such a big faith? You know it in your bones that God is going to do something for you, but it seems so out of ordinary because makes you want to think that God doesn't do things like this anymore. I mean, this is not a common thing. And what you may be believing is not common either. Yet there is nothing that God cannot do. It tells us that we are to have faith, believe, and please God. And then when it happens, everyone will know that God did it for you. Nobody else but God.